Time now for French Connections, our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France. This week, we're going to focus on an event that comes once a year, a hurdle that is dreaded by some, loved by others, and we're talking about the moment when summer draws to an end and people return to real life. Florence Villemino is here with us. Tell us more.
Well, Delano, France is famous for grinding to a halt during the summer, and today we're going to talk about the whiplash that happens when real life kicks back into action. Now, some might say this is not typically French, right? A lot of countries go through such a transition, but what's simply a collection of unrelated events elsewhere is a social phenomenon in France, and you can see what the word is to describe the social phenomenon. It's called la rentrée, or word du jour. Now, could be translated as re-entry. It's often translated as back to school, but it is so much more than back to school because it concerns everyone. Delano, it concerns you, it concerns me, and the media is obsessed with la rentrée and has been for years.
Pour les écoliers de France, la rentrée.
Cette rentrée.
Et oui, ce sera la rentrée.
Que je vais vous parler de la rentrée. La rentrée, on vous accompagne pour cette rentrée.
Et cette rentrée, elle fait la une de vos quotidiens.
Now, Flo, when you think of the rentrée, the first thing that comes to mind is the rentrée des classes for the 12 million students who are going back to school.
There's a lot of hype around la rentrée des classes. It's a time for, picking out a new outfit and buying school supplies. And our colleague Solange Mougin did a great segment on this that you can check out on Entre Nous. So there is a lot of exciting energy in the air for students, of course, their parents, and also teachers.
Un établissement avec beaucoup d'élèves et nous, on arrive comme ça, on est des petits nouveaux, donc ça fait un peu flipper.
Toujours l'angoisse de l'enfant, en fait, on se le partage.
Ils n'ont pas dormi parce qu'ils étaient pressés de venir à l'école. Voilà, donc ils étaient un peu stressés, mais sinon tout va bien. Ça s'est très bien déroulé, très bien passé. Moi, en tant que maman, j'étais pressée parce que je suis fatiguée.
C'est ma 35e rentrée. Et j'ai toujours, le premier jour, le ventre serré, quoi, un peu comme les élèves.
Now, Flo, the end of summer also marks the start of the political season here in France, la rentrée politique, which this year...
Complicated.
It's complicated.
La rentrée politique is a moment when suntanned politicians start tackling their suntanned rivals, and the government, of course, has their own rentrée, laying out a series of new reforms, starting brand new controversies, and laying out the way for some strikes to come, as you'll see.
So there are many different kinds of rentrées for kids, for politicians. What about for everybody else?
Well, it's back to the grind, right? Métro, boulot, dodo, as we say here in France. Métro, work, and sleep. And the problem with la rentrée is that it can come with a side effect, right? You can talk about a certain depression or melancholia. We talk about les blues de la rentrée here in France, the rentrée blues. It's a feeling of dread, when your summer vacation comes to an end, you have to go back to work and you start checking and answering those hundreds of emails that you got while you were away, if you can remember how to log on.
Déjà, on se connecte sur notre ordinateur avec le mot de passe qu'on peut potentiellement oublier. Et puis après, on ouvre sa boîte mail et on s'y met.
Et du coup, là, ça va être la reprise. Il va falloir traiter tous les mails pendant ces 2 prochains jours.
Motivé, reposé. On va s'y mettre vite.
Now, Flo, some people fight the blues by making new plans. La rentrée is also an opportunity for change.
That's right, because as depressing as la rentrée might be, it's also, kind of a renaissance, if you will. It's, after the summer shutdown, it's an opportunity for optimism. A friend recently said that she loves la rentrée because it's kind of like New Year's, but it's not dark and cold outside. So it's an opportunity for change, a fresh start, a new you, basically.
Moi, fumer.
Nager 3 fois par semaine. Et puis, j'ai envie de m'inscrire à des cours d'italien.
Après un été de fête avec beaucoup de mojito, d'alcool, peut-être me remettre au sport.
La bonne résolution, c'est de plus râler pour faire ses devoirs.
C'est vrai?
Oui.
Tu bavardais un petit peu.
Ouais.
Et alors ça, tu vas arrêter?
Passer un peu moins de temps sur les écrans et tout ça. Et puis aussi de pas embêter mon petit frère.
Comment tu vas faire?
Bah...
A few years ago, I took up tap dancing at La Rentrée, and I had stopped by Christmas, thank I think my neighbor was happy about that. Still hesitating what I'm going to do this year. Delano, do you have any rentrée plans?
Well, firstly, I want to see you tap dance around the office. But I think you first need to get away to have a sort of a plan in place. So I'm getting away at the end of the year. So
Smart move.
we'll talk in January. Now, if you also want to escape the harsh reality of la rentrée, you can also head to your bookstore.
That's right. There is a new literary season that's called La Rentrée littéraire. It's a very French concept. So between mid-August and the end of October, there is a torrent of new books that are released. For instance, if you look at the 2025 vintage, it's really impressive. 484 new novels are being published. So that's huge for a country the size of France. Now, why do all these releases happen at the same time? Well, basically, publishing companies are competing for the literary award season that happens in October. You've got prizes like, the Prix Féminin and the Prix Goncourt. And so book lovers, they're happy as well as the editors.
Rentrée française, qui est plutôt ici, et de l'autre côté. Et puis rentrée étrangère, de ce côté-là.
C'est une traduction purement française et oui, c'est très 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 important. C'est notre rentrée des classes à nous. J'aime bien lire et du coup, les nouveautés m'intéressent. Donc, je viens toujours faire un petit tour dans les librairies au moment de la rentrée littéraire.
Est-ce que la rentrée littéraire, c'est un moment que vous attendez, que vous aimez?
Non.
Pourquoi?
Parce que j'achète toute l'année.
À la limite, il y en a trop, parce que lequel choisir?
Some things never change at La Rentrée. You can count on a grumpy French person to complain. Now, not to be left out, the media also has their own rentrée, and here on French Connections, we have a lot more exciting shows coming up, so be sure to keep tuning in.
Thank you very much for that, Flo Vilmino there. And that's all the time we have for this edition of French Connections. But be sure to check out previous episodes on our website, france24.com.